Welcome to another edition of DX Engineering Videos. We're here today in Talmadge, Ohio, and we have a special visitor with us. This is Dan Craig, N6MJ. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. Now, Dan, you got started when you were pretty young in this hobby. How did that all happen?
Yeah, I got my license when I was 8 years old. It kind of runs in the family. My father's a ham and my brother's a ham. And my brother got his license when he was 9, so naturally I had to try and beat him, and I got mine when I was 8. And then I also have other relatives that are hams as well, like my uncle N6MJ, who's passed away now, but he was also a big contester back in the day. So it's definitely in the blood.
And you grew up in California?
Correct.
Where in California?
In Orange County, so in Fullerton. My dad's always had a nice station. We have 3 towers in the backyard. We have monobanders on 10 through 40, so my first contact was on 15 meters with the 4-element Yagi TS930. Not your normal starting station, but we've always had the pleasure of having a big station at home.
So as you were growing up and you're in a ham family, I mean, what kind of opportunities did amateur radio open up for you?
Amateur radio has been huge for me. Not necessarily like career-wise or anything like that, but on a personal level, just meeting so many different people, having so many opportunities to travel. One of my favorite things to do is to travel, and I also do that for work. But I've met some incredible people along the way, and been to many countries that I never would have had a chance to visit other than through this hobby. And I have a son, Oliver, who's 4 right now, and definitely encouraging him to get into it as well. I think it's a worthwhile hobby for anybody, and hopefully he'll pick it up too.
So let's talk about some of your travels. What if there was one place that you really enjoyed going to for amateur radio and meeting people? What would that one place be?
There's several, but the best place for sure that comes to mind is the Azores. Okay, so me and Chris, K3LR, we won WRTC the last time. And one of the prizes for that was a trip to the Azores. And when we went, we had airfare and lodging provided, and we just figured we'd just go there and do our thing and just be by ourselves and do our own travel thing. Well, when we got there, we met up with some of the local hams there, and for the entire week that we're there, they included us in everything. They brought us to family functions, and we saw parts of the island that nobody else gets to see, and it was all through ham radio and that connection, and that's just something that we would never get a chance to do otherwise.
So that's an incredible thing when you think about these relationships, long-distance relationships that you have. But I'll bet you could go back to the Azores Islands, and it would be like old home week for you, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And we always talk about going back again. There's 9 islands down there, lots of other places to see. But I know for sure if we were to go back there, it would be just like best buddies. Even though we don't keep in contact regularly now, it's still a connection that's always going to be there, and that's because of ham radio.
Right. And so you mentioned the WRTC, which is the World Radio Team Championship, and you and Chris, K3LR, operated together in Boston in 2014. If you could summarize how that all unfolded and how it went?
Yeah, so that was another great experience, as all of them are. I've been to 4 of them now. But in that particular case, another ham radio relationship to talk about, right? So one of the stations I've had the opportunity to operate from is Joe Rudi's NK7U. And we ended up using some rather large radios in the competition, the ICOM 7800, and trying to get them from California to Massachusetts was a little difficult. Well, Joe Rudi steps up to the plate, and he decides he's going to drive his RV from the West Coast to the East Coast, and along the way, he's decided to take all of our gear with him. And so that part of the experience was really neat. Joe was a great guy, one of my favorite hams of all time, definitely. Sure. But the actual experience itself of doing the contest was quite amazing as well. We ended up with a pretty decent location. We were in one of the forested areas, and you know, you drive down this little road trying to get to the site, and the car barely makes it through. You know, we're scratching the sides of the car with the trees, whatnot. But then you get back to this clearing, and it just seemed right when we got there, and you know, obviously we did pretty well from there.
Yeah. Now, so this summer, coming up in July, you get to defend your title. You have to be very excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
Going to Germany.
Yeah, very excited. You know, we put a lot of work into it again. You know, you can never do enough practice. You know, so you know, me and Chris, we're still active all the time, practicing quite often, and you know, I'll be honest with you, our goal is to win.
Sure.
We want to repeat. It's been one of the nice things about this particular qualifying time has been since we won the last time, we actually didn't have to qualify again because we were already selected to go to the next event. So we got to take our time, choose which contests we wanted to do, and we also got more family time out of it since we didn't have to do so many of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have to do that next time too.
Well, we certainly wish you the best of luck. It's going to be a very fun event, and I know the world will be watching. So thanks very much for coming in today, Dan. We enjoyed this time with you, and thanks to all of you for watching another edition of DX Engineering Videos.